Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena Mana Burn. This is a series where we play decks that are so bad and so wild that they leave you with a burning sensation. This is gonna be a video about this ElectroStorm list. It's a thing. I wasn't originally gonna make it a Mana Burn video because, you know, it actually seemed like it could be okay. A little bit janky, obviously, but that's, you know, par for the course with my videos. But actually, as it turns out, my win rate with this one is in the single digits, and my lose rate is in the double digits. And I've been playing for 2 hours, so you can kind of guess how good the win rate with this one is. It's atrocious. So, let's talk about the deck, shall we? It is called ElectroStorm because it's built around kind of a storming style of thing. We're going to be trying to play as many cards as we possibly can. And we're going to be doing that with a electrostatic field kind of effect in play at the time. So, we've got two different kinds. We've got electrostatic field, which is a 2-mana 0/4 with defender. Says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. We also have Thermal Alchemist, a personal old school favourite of mine. Do love this card. You know, as Burn goes, this is the way I feel like Burn should play. 2-mana 0/3 with defender. You can tap it to deal 1 damage to each opponent, and then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you untap Thermal Alchemist. So you get to chain together lots of burn from lots of spells. We've got lots and lots of cantrips in the deck, and we're going to be trying to cast as many of them as we can with mana accelerants and mana generators. So we've got Runaway Steamkin, a 2-mana 1/1 that gets a counter whenever you cast a red spell. And if it's got 3 counters on it, you can remove those to add 3 mana. Basically, it makes the 1-mana spells in our decks completely free as long as you can get Runaway Steamkin to 3 mana. We also have Birgi, God of Storytelling, a card from Kaldheim that basically makes this deck function, air quotes. I hesitate to even say the word function based off of my experience with it today. But it does help it function anyway. It's a 3-mana 3/3. Whenever you cast a spell, it adds red until the end of the turn. So again, like Steamkin, it makes those 1-mana spells completely free. And then cost reduction for the 2-mana spells. So for the most part, you don't really need mana once you've got a Birgi or a Steamkin in play, because then you can do its other stuff. It also, though, plays around the legend rule, since we're running 4 copies of it, by playing the Harnfell, Horn of Bounty side of things, which is a 5-mana legendary artifact, allows you to discard cards, to exile 2 cards from your library, and then you get to play those cards during your turn. So essentially, if we draw excess lands, we can discard them to Harnfell to try and find excess spells so we can continue to get our chain going. As I said, we got lots of 1-mana spells, so let's go into those. Lots and lots of cantrips. So we've got Warlord's Fury and Crash Through. Basically, they just say 1-mana draw a card. A little bit of removal in the form of Pillar of Flame, dealing 2 damage to any target. Can also exile as well if it is a creature that you destroy with it. And Spyfield Hazard, a land drop, but also a 1 damage burn spell. It allows us to cut into our mana base a little bit and run a lot less lands. I think we're running 17. Yep, 17 lands with 4 Spyfield Hazards. This just means that excess lands don't become too much of a hindrance, so not too bad. We got 4 Thriller possibilities and 1 Tormenting Voice, essentially the same card, except for 1 is instant, and obviously that makes it strictly better. Discard a card and draw 2 cards, so we can keep going that way. And then finally, Light Up the Stage, a 3-mana sorcery. However, if you do deal damage to your opponent, which is easy enough with our little combo, you can cast it for its spectacle cost instead of 1 red mana, making it basically free, to exile the top 2 cards of your library, and then until your next turn, you can play those cards. So this helps you draw your land drops in the early game, but it can also help you continue to combo off. Finally, Experimental Frenzy. Again, allows you to basically have an infinite hand, in a nutshell, similar to what Harnfell would try to achieve here. You can't play the cards in your hand, but you can play cards from the top of your library, as long as you don't hit 2 lands in a row, in a nutshell. You can always destroy it for 4 mana later as well, which then allows you to open up the hand of all the cards that you've been messing around with. So yeah, it's pretty good. Frenzy actually combos quite nicely with Harnfell, because obviously you can't cast the cards in your hand, but you can discard them to Harnfell, and then the 2 cards you get are in exile, so you can cast cards in exile, which is nice. So Experimental Frenzy doesn't care too much about that. So it plays quite nicely into it, and yeah, just allows us to combo off. Gigantha's completely free in this deck, so you might as well. You will find that putting it into your hand to discard to Harnfell or a Tormenting Voice is very useful, so definitely is an upside to have that in the deck for sure. But yeah, that is essentially the list. If you do enjoy the content, I would really appreciate if you do hit that like button and subscribe. As usual, I would state that any mana burn deck, although sometimes my words aren't useful to people, I would really recommend not crafting this. It's very bad and will probably make you more miserable than it brings you joy, because it certainly did me. I'll say that much. I went into it with a positive mindset, and you could probably hear my soul dying as the video gets longer and longer today. It's oh god, it was a slog towards the end, I'll say that much. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's video anyway. If you do, like, subscribe, it really helps out the channel a great deal and helps my mental health, because, good lord, I do need a little bit of a mental health boost right now. This deck, good lord. Anyway, enjoy the video. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty, we're in, and I'd say this is kind of the nut draw. Opponent goes first. Yeah, we're going to keep this one. I guess it can be interrupted if our opponent's playing like a sacrifice deck, or if they just win on turn 3. That could also put a damper in things. Goblins it is, everyone's favourite. So what are we doing here? I think we're going to lead off with... I think it's Alchemist you've got to lead off with. I guess Field makes it less necessary. You've got to set up the Steamkin so that it essentially sets up your mana. I don't really have to care about removal. I think Goblins is all but done with Gem Palm right now, isn't it? Why interact with your opponent when you just win on turn 3 kind of deal? I think it's Alchemist. It's going to have to be like Alchemist, Bergie, and then try to go off with a Steamkin on turn 3, maybe? Something like that. Alchemist is the one that kind of needs to be in play in order for you to use its ping ability, so it's the one that you have to play first over Electrostatic Field for sure. Even though the field does have the extra toughness, I don't think that should be entirely relevant. Dodged a bullet on the top card of our opponent's deck with Conspicuous Snoop. Wily Goblin. Alright. So you're saying you have Muxus in hand. You certainly do the turn after. Ooh, that's a card. That is a card and a half. Alright, so I think that means that we have to go with Prospector getting Pillar of Flamed here, and if that's the case, I should go with Steamkin. So I can get its mana going early. Because I think I just lose if they have Muxus in hand. They certainly have the Muxus to turn after because of Goblin Matron. So let's go Steamkin. Pillar of Flame. And then we might have the win next turn. Letting it get exiled. Lovely. Oh, Conspicuous Snoop is just a Krenko now. Yippee. So, activate Snoop. Matron. Muxus. Another Snoop. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Alright, play their entire hand. So, now they make 4 goblins, which they can use to sack 3 of to get the goblin matron. No? Oh. Well, we got a Spitefield Hazard for Skirt Prospector again. So how do I set this up where Steamkin gets to pop off? I only need 2 more counters, so I need to cast 2 spells of instant and sorcery level quality. So I only have 1 mana left over, essentially, so it's not going to work for me. I think I just need to cantrip twice. Hazard the Prospector. Yep. Tap again. Then we go Crash Through. Got Thrill of Possibility. So now we can add mana to play... Is it Bergie here? Bergie makes Warlord's Fury free, but leaves me with basically nothing to do. I could instead go for Field, leaves me with 2 mana. It's not enough off the Warlord's Fury, though, I don't think. So I guess it has to be kind of Bergie here. Maybe hope for the best. If I hit a 1-drop here, then we're good. Hit a Ruins. Oh, we actually haven't played our land drop for the turn. So I have to go Thrill to keep the combo going. Well, that doesn't do me too much. Too much good here. I only have 4 mana, so... Probably I've lost, if I had to guess. Because I've got an upkeep double Snoop, so... Yeah, I think that'll do it. I believe we have whiffed. So, double again. They don't have haste. So maybe we're okay. They'd have to have this be a haste creature for us to have to care about that. Got a Krenko, okay. Yeah, let's see if they want to trade some goblins for a small amount of damage. I get the feeling they probably do. Not that they need to, but they probably do. Alright, so we block, just in case it's relevant, though it probably isn't. And then activate Thermo Alchemist, hope for the best. That is far from our best. Okay. Mountain, activate, Steamkin, Horn. Maybe you shouldn't have even played the Mountain, honestly, because it's 1 less card we can discard to the Harnfell. Okay, it's not too bad, though. We do also have Gigantha we can put into our hand. So, Warlord's Fury. Light up the stage. Nice. Let's light up the stage. We put the Gigantha in our hand with our spare 3 mana. Another light up the stage. A Pillar of Flame. We're generating mana now. So we light up the stage. I think we might have gotten there. That is an Experimental Frenzy. Very good card, actually. These are all in exile, so we can play the Frenzy right now. It's an electrostatic field on top. So let's do that. Activate Steamkin. Spike Field Hazard, our opponent's face. Got a mountain on top. So we want to shuffle that off. To do that, we put Gigantha in hand. Discard it to Harnfell. It's a thrill of possibility. Can't cast that. But I think we've got enough anyway here. This is 4. Ping you, Spyfield Hazard, and that's lethal. Damn! Oh, I did not think we were getting there, but we managed it. We almost whiffed, though. Triple Mountain Hand, not exactly ideal when you've only got 18 lands, but it happens. It happens for sure. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet, yeah. Goblins player with not the usual hand can punish that, apparently. So, yep, next game. Alright. Technically got a 3-lander. Doesn't have a pinger. But we'll keep it. It's got the mana generators we're looking for. Definitely can't afford to not draw a land next turn, so let's get down the tap land and say go. Our opponent is on some green deck. Alright, so we've got the choice between the Alchemist, which we can start activating next turn, or the Steamkin that benefits off the Alchemist. I think it's the Steamkin. I think mana is going to be the deciding factor here and not just a couple of pings from an Alchemist. So let's hope they're not Gruel. They are Gruel. Okay. Hope's dashed. Burning Tree into Burning Tree into Burning Tree into Burning Tree into Stomp. I'm glad they unbanned this card. Alright, Scavenging Ooze is useless, so that's okay. Am I playing Spikefield Hazard? Considering I have 2 Steamkins. Neither of which I actually trust to live very long. It's a tough spot for sure. Tough spot indeed. I do not care about any of this board. Except for the fact that it actually enables Ember Cleave, which is ridiculous. I'm not planning on blocking, so I guess I'll go with the Steamkin. And yeah, let's just have that 3rd mana. Probably gonna need it. Land and swing into Embercleave. Nope. Alright, maybe just trying to use it as a combat trick. Clothis, alright. Well, I can hold off playing anything relevant for Clothis, but it's still a creature that is in play right now, and that is quite silly. So I can play Fields, Flame, activate Steamkin. If I Pillar of Flame the Scavenging Ooze, then I get 3 mana to play with. I can drop down an Alchemist. And then maybe go from there. I do have to stop taking damage, so I think that's worth doing. Also takes Clothis out of play as well, which is relevant. Yeah, let's get in for 6. Put our opponent down to 13. And I think we pass the turn here. Could put Gigantha into hand, but it doesn't leave us with much mana. So they go back up to 15. We unfortunately did have to enable some of that. Choosing not to stomp, but that does allow Clothis to come into play. So I'm going to block. I'm going to block. Take 4. And there's a world where we win right now. It's a weird world, but it's a world nonetheless, and that is a great start towards it. Alright, so tap Thermo Alchemist. Generate 3 mana. We're then going to go free redraw here, I think. Untap the squad. Tap. When do I want to get down the Harnfell? Could be now. I don't know. I guess we redraw first. Because I don't think we go Burgy at the very least. Tap you, generate the mana here. Light up the stage was a solid pickup. We're just looking for redraws, really, and I guess Experimental Frenzy is about as good a redraw as it gets. Alright, I think this is where we drop down Harnfell now. Which means we can do Spikefield, Hazard, our opponent's face. Generate mana, untap the Alchemist, tap the Alchemist, generate mana. Go Experimental Frenzy, generates mana off the Steam Kin. Gotta land. Oof. That's okay, though. Yeah, okay. Fab. We know we're hitting a Thrill to discard to the Thrill. Tap you. Yeah, let's go Thrill. Ping for 2, discard Thrill, draw 2. We can then discard those 2 if we really need to the Harnfell to find the last instant and sorcery spell that we need to win the game there. Pretty cool. I actually wonder how differently that would have gone if instead of activating the Clothis and getting greedy with their combat step, they actually used the Stomp instead to hit my Steamkin, because I'm pretty sure it was possible at that point. And yeah, these two popping off one by one at their own time definitely helps us win the game there. I don't know if we had the mana to win on the spot otherwise. So, yeah. They might have just killed themselves. I don't know. Either way, though, I had a pretty nutty draw nonetheless, though. But anytime you get Burning Tree into anything else, I think you've got a pretty solid Gruel hand. But, yep. Anyway, victory. This took a while, but we got there. Let's go for another game. Alright, you go first, you say. We've got a Burgy and some removal. I don't know what to think of this hand, so I'm going to keep it and find out what happens. We'll dump the Spikefield Hazard here. We literally only have one goal, and that's to play a Burgy here, so if I don't have the third land, what am I doing with my life? Alright, it is not mono red. It seems like it's been mono red day today. Come on, leave me alone. Okay, what do you even take here? If I were them, I'd wonder why I was playing a Burgy, and I'd probably take it, but it has a little bit of redundancy. Yeah. So, I would seriously consider it. And then they just leave open mana to kill the other one, probably, and I'm left with nothing. It is most likely the case. Is it Death Shadow? Black-white list uses Danto Vanguard. I laugh because if I don't, I'll cry. Well, it's not a bad pickup. Let's assume that Field is already dead, Let's just go with the Warlord's Fury here. Hope to draw a replacement. And what are we doing then? So, if we're assuming it's Death Shadow, we've got to be a little bit... Can't cast spell... Alright. So, let's never draw Experimental Frenzy then. I'm going to put Gigantha in hand and probably just cast it next turn. I'm not sure whether or not I should hit my opponent down to 13 with a Pillar of Flame here. It's hard to say. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Dranith Magistrate. A Tigrid's Lantern. We're playing against some jank today. Oh, wow. I'll lose 3 life. There's no reason for me to not do that all the time for a little while. Let's actually go with Thermo Alchemist. Pass the turn. Alright, we got double pingers in play, a requirement of this deck as it turns out. I need a form of card advantage. I will lose 3 life. This thing says I can't cast spells from anywhere other than my hand, though. So, double Pillar of Flame might have to hit that instead. Unfortunately. Hushbringer. No ETBs. That doesn't do anything. Except for gain life. So we naturally draw the one card we can't actually use. If I killed Dranith Magistrate, I could use it, though. Do I want to kill Dranith Magistrate? We do ping for quite a fair bit, which makes up for the Pillar of Flame loss, and we can't cast it straight away, though. This is a tough call. Kinda think I just played Gigantha. Moo. We'll see where we go from there, essentially. I'll lose 3 life. Oh, I'm glad I didn't kill it. Alright, Frenzy is useless. It is basically discard fodder to Thrills and Horns. Maybe we can make that happen by drawing a Thrill or a Horn. Gets in for 2. Sure. And hope for the best. Can't cast any of the spells off Light Up the Stage. Should be noted. Doesn't mean that I shouldn't cast it, though. Because it untaps my Alchemist and triggers the field. And I think we can still play lands. Now I just wonder if I should kill Hushbringers. Because they're gaining our opponent life here. And... well, this is 2... 6-12, isn't it? So if I get in with Gigantha... see if our opponent blocks. Yeah, we'll get Chump out of them. Because I think if they didn't block, we won there. Okay. I might just Ruins our opponent next turn. Leave back our blockers. Or end step, actually. You can do it anytime you want, right? Yeah. So I can do it end step here for 12 damage. I'll take 3. This game's over in like 3 turns anyway. So having Hushbringer Put us on a 3-turn clock isn't all that bad. I suppose we could discard the Frenzy, because it's never actually gonna happen. Sack Ruins. Tap Alchemist. And another field. Get in with Gigantha. So your opponent wants to chump here. Containment Priest. All the hate spells. Wow. Uh-huh. So we play Alchemist. Play Field. Then this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So we put our opponent to 2 by playing Pillar of Flames here, and then any spell off the top is just a win. Ping, ping, ping! Oop. You, please. Thank you. So we put our opponent to 3. A virtual 2. We can discard Frenzy to Tigrid's Lantern. They get in first, which forces me to not be able to pay 3 anymore. They're up to 5, but pretty much any spell is going to be enough here, I would have thought. So I will discard Experimental Frenzy. Can't cast it. Well, I can cast it. It would be a horrible idea to do so. They can pay 4 to untap the Lantern, and then I have to lose Gigantha. And then it's all down to a top deck. Gigantha represents 0 damage, whereas the Fields and the Alchemists represent at least 1 point. Sack a permanent. You. And then put our opponent to 4, and... Land. Cool. Awesome. Alright, opponent goes first. 2 Lando, Thermo Alchemist. Let's keep. See what we can do. What bad matchup is it today? Highland Forest. Alright. That's a new one on me. Must be a budget list. Sculptor of Winter. It's a Gruel Snow deck. Alright. Consider me intrigued and wondering whether or not I actually stand a chance of winning against Jank. There are so many Jank decks that are better than this. I'm honestly, like, 100% surprised that this deck we are playing is as bad as it is. Because, oh boy, is it bad. Glittering Frost, okay. So I'm going to ping with Thermo Alchemist so that I can light up the stage for 1 mana. Hoping to find another pinger. We do not find another pinger. Okay. So where do we go from here? I might want to redraw to try and find a Pillar of Flame for the Sculptor. We do not find a Pillar of the Flame for the Sculptor, so I will pass the turn here. With an end-step Alchemist activation. So our opponent's got 5 mana here, 6 mana with the land drop. Build your own Arbor Elf. In Historic. Uh-huh. Let's see an Elder GG. A Boreal Outrider, okay. Then what? Another Sculptor of Winter, okay. Enters with a counter on it. We can beat that. I think I'm just hitting our opponent in the face for extra damage here. Being mana efficient. We don't really have a generator of mana right now, so that's all we really can do. Is play you out the exile zone. Activate Thermo Alchemist to discard the mountain. Got a Burgie. It's not any of my pingers, though, which appear to be at the bottom of my deck right now. And so, I guess I activate here because I've given up hope of ever drawing the cards I need. So we tap, untap, tap, untap, tap. Steamkin, okay. Pass so I can at least block the 2-2. And then we take 6. We are putting our opponent down to 12, so it's not unlikely that we win. But it is pretty close to 0 anyway with this deck. Graven Law. So you're a Teamer Snow List. How wild. So that is a Scry 5, draw 3. Nothing good can possibly come of that, except for, I guess, a bottom 4. The one top, though, is quite spooky. Gotta imagine it wasn't the snow-covered forest, but I guess you never really know. Opponents can get that level of mana screwed, I suppose. And then 3 mana. Another Outrider, maybe? Please leave my Alchemist alone. He's literally my only hope. Alright. Hope destroyed. I don't actually know how many cards we've discarded and dumped and thrown around. I gotta imagine it's quite a lot, though. So to seriously be at this point is mind-bogglingly bad. I will go with a Harnfell. And I'll hope that we can find some electrostatic fields here. Marit Lage's Slumber. Oh, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more and they get a 20/20. Yeah, I can't imagine our opponent wins against many decks. Ours, though, they've got a pretty good chance of. So this is on your upkeep? Yeah, okay. So on their upkeep, they get a 20/20. So we survive a turn here. So I need to 11 my opponent before we get to see Marit Lage getting in. If they can beat any deck, it's ours. Blessing of Frost. Draw a million cards. Yeah. Take 4. And my turn. Alright, let's see. Garbage. Let's go Raminat Ruins. Harnfell. Discard a mountain. We drew a field. Alright. Okay. There is hope yet. I need to be able to generate mana, so I probably want to be playing my Steamkins to play off of the fields. So let's play a Steamkin. If I play Steamkin number 2, then the 2 1-drops will get me 3 mana. And then that's my mana situation sorted. Then I just need cards. Spitefield Hazard. Okay. Redraw. Another Spike Field Hazard. So we generate mana off the Steam Cairn. Generate mana. Let's... I think Thrill, discard a hazard. A Crash Through is fantastic. So let's Crash Through. I guess the mountains are useless, so let's just do those first. Just in case we draw a field. Oh, we're doing it, chat. I think we're doing it. It took the ultimate jank from our opponent, but I think we're doing it. Ping you for 4. Generate mana, redraw. Another Steam Cairn. Spike Field Hazard, your face. Put you into my hand. Discard you. And there's the Pillar of Flame for the win. Oh! Oh, man. Oh, this deck. This deck just looks like it has so much promise. But it's actually the worst pile of garbage I've ever played in my entire life, I think. It is so bad. But as you can see, the going off part of it is so wonderfully rewarding. I think what it really just needs is more cantrips. Mono Red doesn't really have good cantrips. These redraws, like Crash Through, are really good. If you can get another pair of those, that'd be fantastic. It's like, currently we got like Thrill of Possibilities, which have whiff potential if you're top decking them and things like that. And, you know, we're exiling and putting things into our exile zone as part of our card draw, so we can't discard those to Thrill. There's just a lot of things that are like that. And also we require like 2 to 3 engine pieces in play in order to actually go off. So if your opponents just have interaction, then you're in trouble. It's a shame our opponent couldn't get their Merit Lage's Slumber off. I genuinely, after all the punishment that I have received today playing this list, I genuinely thought I was going to whiff and we were going to see the Merit Lage token get in for some damage, but turns out it's not the case, so you'll just have to look at it from here. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. It was painful for me to make this, so I really would appreciate if you do hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment down below if you played a list that's like this. Did you go like 3-16 like I did? Yeah. That being said, hopefully that is indication enough that you shouldn't waste your wildcards on this one. I really do not want you guys spending any wildcards on this list. It's bad. It's bad, it's painful. And yeah, it's only fun when it wins. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the wins that I have showcased to you, and you don't go out of your way to try and find them yourselves. These are the best you're going to get. Anyway, guys, take care. Have a wonderful night. I'm going to go and de-stress, put my head underwater or something like that for 5 minutes. We'll see what happens. But yeah, take care. Have a good night.